Hey everyone, Andre here along with Don, Tris, and Tom to relive Nintendo's E3 2014. This is a year I have some fond memories of. I mean, I feel like almost every E3 has some fond memories of, but this was during a low period for Nintendo. Like, they are still like mid Wii U, which of course is a massive failure. I don't have to tell you that. Yet there were still, there were still things to look forward to, and I think we knew of some things, including Smash Brothers, Wii U, and 3DS. Those had already been announced, so they were going to showcase them more here. But there were still some mysteries left, including their lineup for the year and everything else. So it should be fun. I don't have a perfect recall of what exactly happened here. Tris, though, how about you? What are you thinking about? What are you looking forward to or hoping you might relive in this direct? And how much do you remember, even?
Very specifically going into this one rather confident, actually, especially after 2013 was really good, and at this point we had just gotten Mario Kart 8 like a few weeks before. So I was in that feeling of like, you know what, maybe Nintendo's turning it around, maybe things are actually getting better now, and we're gonna see some better lineups coming to the Wii U, and also, with the 3DS and Smash 3DS being a big focus. I remember at this point thinking, oh, maybe we're finally going to see like a really good look at that game, and actually getting a good look at a balance between the Wii U and 3DS that's going to feel good for both.
That's great. I forgot to mention, by the way, we're obviously doing this as a 10-year anniversary for the Direct to the day, 10 years later. Tom, you were actually there with me. Actually, Don was as well, I believe.
Yeah.
Tom, do you remember much from this Direct? Like, we've been doing a lot of Directs, Tom, or a lot of Directs, a lot of E3s. Yeah. Do you remember this Direct specifically?
I think I just remember, like, might have been, like, Nintendo kind of losing out to PlayStation and Xbox at the time, but the style of the presentation made up for it this year. It's just something so memorable.
That's something we're going to see, that this is going to take us back to. This was back when Nintendo was at peak creativity for their presentations. Because it kind of had to be. And now they're coasting. So this is going to be fun to go back to see when they actually put effort into how they presented things, rather than just focusing on looking, corporate attractive, I guess.
Yeah, we're now in the here is this, how is that era.
Yeah.
Exactly. Don, how much do you remember?
I remember this being the start of a bunch of things, including them being more creative with their presentations, because 2013, they were sort of figuring this stuff out as they went along, and they did a lot of directs. Even for the smallest thing, they did a direct.
Yeah.
In 2013. 2014 felt more of a year from, okay, we know our rhythm now, this is how we're going to handle things, and we're going to put a bunch of information in this presentation as we can, while making it entertaining. And like amiibo being like one of the key points that I remember from this. Like, this is the point where my addiction to amiibo began.
It's funny you say that, as I literally just sold my entire collection of amiibo. I'm like, I just moved recently. I'm like, I don't want to bring these with me. I'm never going to use them again. And I just sold the massive collection at a huge loss. So I'm annoyed at amiibo. I'm more annoyed with amiibo than I have ever been before.
Wow. You have to realize, so the way I look at my webcam, behind the webcam is 6 shelves all filled with amiibo.
Oh, jeez.
You're talking to them.
It's a very different presentation than my just giant cardboard box of amiibo that I had. Anyways.
Rummaging around it, I remember that.
Chat, before we get started here, how's everything looking on your end? Is it running smoothly? Let us know in the chat before we get fully going here. I saw someone mention that it froze for them, so I just want to make sure that's running okay before we get started. Because I am on a new internet connection here, so I'll make sure it's actually going okay. I'm not seeing anyone else complaining, so...
and as we wait for their feedback too, as a reminder, everybody, 10th anniversary of this E3 Direct. We usually do these. We've done these for several other Nintendo, not even just E3 directs, but general directs, and as well. If they were like pretty good ones, we look back on them 10 years later and kind of see how they've done. So no, guys, this is not us sitting here saying, where's the 2024 direct? Let's do this instead. This is normal for us. It's okay.
we started this, I think, during the pandemic, when there wasn't any trade shows at all, really, and that's when we started going back through the original E3s. And it's been fun, like, going through it year by year and seeing, reminding us what happened then, what the hype levels were like. I mean, I almost think it's interesting. With Nintendo being at one of its lowest points back then, the hype was almost through the roof. It's like, how are they going to redeem themselves? Or how are they going to save themselves? and it's almost kind of expected now, so it's a little bit less exciting, I think. Maybe it's just me. That might be my perspective, but it's almost like, you know, it's like they have to make up for, you know, why they're failing. So what are they gonna bring out to reverse the trend? And whether or not they succeeded, we're gonna reevaluate and find out. So if everyone's ready, I think we'll hop into it.
Yeah,
We good?
Ready.
All right, let's do it. Chat, as we go through it, let us know how the audio's sounding. It should sound pretty good, but let us know if that sounds otherwise. But let's hit play and see what Nintendo has in store for us back in the year 2014 at E3. It's a GameCube.
Please welcome Nintendo President and
Already off to a great start.
Reggie Phil's,
Yeah, what is this?
Fisame.
if you say so.
Welcome to E3.
That probably helped
Nintendo
a lot of
fans.
people.
And you guys
Yes.
thought we wouldn't have a press conference. Not my problem. We have Nintendo's biggest stars backstage, ready to make some big announcements.
Oh, great! Another Mario game!
Don't love your tone, but actually no new Mario game today.
What? I'm getting bombed?
Mario's
Bring
reaction.
the cart around. I'm out of
Yeah.
here.
So good.
Hey, looks like I'm the new
Talking
face
Link.
of Nintendo. Hey, they promised me you would be here.
That's actually amazing. You're right. It's Talking Link.
How about
Yep.
this instead?
I forgot this was so early in the show.
A meme was
I
born.
Nintendo's heroes are backstage.
Okay.
Who's watching the bad guys?
Not my problem.
It's me, Wario.
I forgot this.
I guess this is my problem. While I go Reggie on these fools, here's what's new.
That birth of a meme was incredible. That meme still shows up to this day. The Mother 3 thing. So
Yeah.
for better or worse.
10
This
years later, hasn't changed.
again though. Look at this. We were like, what is going on here? Like, what's going on with Reggie and Iwata?
I remember watching this back in the day. I'm not quite sure what this is meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. The direct.
Yeah, it's basically like a E Honda Street Fighter move there.
Right.
This is so good. This could be a movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, it is like Matrix effects, so.
This is hilarious.
How long do you think they hourglass for this?
Probably more than we would think. They put a lot of time and money into this. The landing. Oh, see, I missed this. I missed that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do miss.
Right into Smash.
when CEOs had a little more fun.
Like, I know people nowadays complain about, like, the Mii's and Smash, like, the costumes and whatnot, but, like, the Mii's had such a hype reveal here. Like, this was so fun. This was so cool.
Yeah, because it allowed you to put anyone you wanted into the game, right? Like, that's so cool. Like, hey, if
Right.
you can think it up, you can play as them. So stop bugging us about putting Reggie in Smash Brothers.
Oh, Reggie wins.
Yeah, it's the first time ever. Oh,
That's
no.
right. They did Amiibo in the same trailer. I forgot about that.
Smart.
Yes. Before this point, it was only used in Pokemon Rumble U.
Oh, that's right. So this is really the showcase for Amiibo then.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's just so fun. What a fun way of presenting
Hello,
how they
I'm
work.
Masahiro Sakurai
Yeah.
from Sora Limited, here at the Nintendo
Oh
Digital
god, I
event.
remember
I'd
when
like
he
to
was in
lead
the
off by
studio,
talking
where
about Super
in the
Smash
later
Bros.
Smash Direct he does this, and
Right now,
a
you're
new
seeing
meme was
two
born
familiar
that way.
bigwigs
Yeah.
facing off in
Yeah, we've done.
combat.
I think we used it ourselves
This isn't
multiple
a simple
times.
Pre-rendered
Yes.
animation. What you are seeing will be possible in the new Smash Brothers games. Now, by using a Mii fighter,
How does Sakurai look even
anyone
younger
can
these
join the
days?
battle.
No, he looks younger there.
He definitely looks younger here.
New
Yeah.
characters
Yeah,
appear
for
in
sure.
Super Smash Bros. Brawl.
To be
But
fair,
in the end,
everybody
decided
got aged
against
during the
it.
pandemic.
Somehow at the time, it didn't seem right to have Mii's punching and kicking.
Oh, is that a
For
yarn?
this game, though, we're not simply throwing
Oh.
Mii's into the fray. We've done some serious work getting them ready for a fight. Have a look. They're almost not even Mii's anymore.
They're still pretty much Mii's.
Yeah, they really are. That was a stretch, I'll admit. I'll be fully honest. I never end up playing with the Mii Fighters. I almost never use them. I almost don't know. I don't really know anyone that really uses them.
I used them more in Smash Ultimate, but because they got a better moveset. But I don't remember using them at all in Smash 4 League.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the idea behind them, but yeah, I made some, but I never like really.
Well, there's so many fighters.
Yeah, exactly.
I think you can tell that the Miis are going to be just as competitive as the other characters. Mii Fighters will come in 3 varieties. Brawlers
I mean, it's
fight
such a big deal
empty-handed
still, though,
and
because like the
prefer to
Mii's are
be
such a
up close and
core
personal.
part of Nintendo's
Mii
history.
brawlers are
Like,
both
even more
fast
so
and powerful.
Yes.
now, 10 years later,
Sword
comparatively.
fighters are weapon
But-
masters. They stay
We have
cool and
Steve in the
calm
chat
as
saying,
they
I remember
chase down
watching this back in
opponents.
2014 on this very YouTube channel.
Gunners are armed
That's
with
awesome.
pistols on
Love that,
pins.
Steven.
They have lots of
10
different
years ago,
projectiles
to the
that can be
day.
fired from long range.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brawlers, sword fighters, and gunners. Each type is treated as a separate fighter. And each
I forgot
type
how
can
like
choose
really
4
into
special
it
moves
they went
from
here.
12 options.
Yeah.
Getting like a full breakdown of all their
This
moves.
means that the Mii Fighters will have a total of 36 special moves.
I do
from which
think.
to choose.
See, this is
It would
where I
take
feel like they
9
go a
regular
little
fighters to
unnecessarily in
equal that
depth
number of moves.
into them. You know,
Yeah.
like, this is where I started to
But
tune
I
out.
didn't decide to include Mii's
Right.
in the lineup just
Okay,
so
but
you
that-
and
they
your
got me
friends
back.
could join the battle. See,
The little
every day,
splash
I don't remember
screen is
this.
so good.
I don't either.
new characters to be added to the
Elijah
game.
Wood.
Now you can use
Okay, I remember this at all. This is actually
any
hilarious.
character you like and fight as that.
Ice-T.
Anyone can join the battle.
You would not see Nintendo these days putting Ice-T into their game.
This is
I
your
love how
chance
it's
to
ported
defeat
on.
Nintendo's greats.
Honestly, this was such an exciting way to open this, though, because like Smash really was like the big thing.
It totally
everyone
was, yeah.
We're
If
fast
Mario
approaching
Kart was
the sales
out,
date
now
of
it's
the
Smash on the
3DS version.
horizon.
Yeah.
The game
I do
is
believe
almost
this was the
complete,
first time we
but of course
properly
there are
saw
an
the 3DS
astronomical
version of the
number
game.
variables in a game like this.
I think
You have to
we
be
saw
sure to put
glimpses
enough
of it in the
people
reveal
on the
trailer
team
the year
and
before, I
test it
think,
correctly.
right? But we
I
didn't see like
think-
extended
yeah,
gameplay.
like, we had
Yeah.
glimpses. This is the first time we
We've
really
put
had like
all
an
our
extended
focus
look at
into
it.
getting the fighters,
And I
items,
think they even had it
assist
playable at
trophies,
E3
stages,
and like
enemy
E3 demos this
characters
year too,
ready
so this
and
was
in
like
the
a big
game.
deal.
I remember playing that
There are
game,
many
both of them
different
non-stop
modes
at E3 that year.
besides
I had
the
so many
main
Smash
I
shirts
won't go
from
over
playing the
that
demo so many times.
Let me show you
How many
what
medals
what's in
did you
store
end up
for
getting?
Oh god, a medal? Oh, I don't remember.
Yeah,
I
those
forgot about
medals.
that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Real quick, then
Because you
Toby.
wore this year also at Gamescom and you got another 20.
Yeah, I think that's right. Then Toby says they did Elijah Wood dirty.
Oh. But just anytime Nintendo has that 4-player game at an event, it was possible to play it so many times because
Yeah.
it just goes to the crowd like crazy.
Smash Run.
Smash Run,
Smash
great
I enjoyed
idea.
Smash Run.
Sorry, what, Don?
I enjoyed Smash Run.
I
lo-
miss Smash Run.
I love it as a concept. Didn't quite like the execution.
I mean,
But-
it's better than Smash Tour.
Oh, I mean, yes.
It needs online. I want Smash Run online to be able to play it. with
Let's bring it
friends.
back.
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, this is such a well done trailer. Like they're just like flying through everything you can do. The trophy room.
And it feels great too. It's like, wow, all this on the 3DS version.
What the heck was that thing we just saw? That like the little like what's that old game?
It
I'm
was
thinking of?
the
There
Street
are
Pass
many
game.
more
Oh,
games
that was
that
it.
we
Street
haven't
Pass game with
introduced
it,
yet.
yeah.
But I don't
Crossfire.
think we can
It looked like
talk about them all
Crossfire.
before we release.
You know what I'm talking about, Tom?
This will be our
You're old
first
enough.
Yeah,
Smash
Crossfire,
Brothers
remember
game
Crossfire.
at handheld. So I hope you're
Remember
all
the
looking
80s
forward
commercial
to
for it,
Super
too.
Smash Brothers for Nintendo
90s,
3DS.
Tom. We're not that old, I'm pretty sure.
Nice, yeah.
October 3rd.
And this is when we got the release dates.
Holiday
Or one of the
2014,
release dates.
yep.
everyone, and
So
welcome
later
to
that same year.
Red
Nintendo's
Hype.
digital event at E3. This year we wanted to do something different
Why aren't
to
you
celebrate
Claymation?
what
Oh,
it
now
means
the
to be
Amiibo.
Yeah, who's this? Where's Claymation Reggie?
Today you'll meet many of the talented Nintendo teams working hard to deliver great games and hear some of our big E3 news, with more to be shared throughout the show. While I've changed
Street
out of
Smash,
my
that's what it was
Fireflower
called.
suit for now, Mario is so close to my heart.
There he is.
Okay, he explained it.
Yeah.
You may recognize this as what Mr. Iwata used earlier to defeat
The fireball
my
looks
Mii
like a
Fighter
gummy bear,
in
like a
Super
gummy
Smash
worm.
Bros.
I want it.
Yeah.
Now, I'll say there's no way he beats me without resorting to a little magic. And in fact,
Is it calling
I'm
Iwata a
right.
cheater?
That's exactly what he did.
I think
Yes,
he
he
did.
did.
Because this
Yes, he did.
is no
Yep.
ordinary toy.
He foreshadowed he was.
This
so
is
that
one of
just
the
now.
first in a new line of products Nintendo has in development called Amiibo.
Kind of wild, honestly,
And
to see
only
like
on
how far
Nintendo
Amiibo have
systems
come
will you be able
since
to
Yeah.
then.
enjoy all
Yeah.
the different experiences in this Toys to Life category. Along with Amiibo, both Disney Infinity and Skylanders Attract
All dead.
have unique features and functionality that can only be found on Wii U. There's a special chip that's embedded
I remember
in
at the
every
Switch
figure.
launch, I
Any
realized
Wii U
the
system
Skylanders
will
didn't come with the
recognize
portal, and you just
figures
did it on the
by
NFC
touching
read of
them
the
on the
Joy-Con.
Wii U game.
Right.
And when that happens, they spring to life in compatible games in cool new ways.
I will say, I think
When
the
you touch
concept of
Amiibo to the
Amiibo,
game
like
pad,
the way he's describing it sounds
character's
way
data is
cooler
downloaded
than the actual
into the game
execution.
you're playing.
Smash Brothers is
Yeah,
still probably the
sure.
best uses
also
of
a
it.
two-way street.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
can send information back to the figure.
But they never felt like
They
the
really
figure was
should have had
coming to
a Toys to
life.
Life.
Figure's data
Yeah.
changes as you play.
Sorry, what,
which
Triss?
opens the
They really
door
should have had a
to
Toys to
various
Life
new
game like
games.
Skylanders or something. Like or like Disney
For
Infinity. Like, they
example,
really should have had their
your
own.
figure with
I
its
agree.
own
The
unique
all
stats
close they
and
ever
fighting
came
style
were the two
will not
downloadable
only
games on
appear,
Wii U with
but also
the
evolve as a
Mario
fighter
vs.
in
Donkey Kong
Super
1 and
Smash Brothers
Amiibo Tap,
on
but
Wii U.
even those
Yeah.
are not
In
even
fact,
close enough.
Super
Right.
Smash Brothers for Wii U will indeed
Forgot about
be the
Amiibo Tab.
first game to support Amiibo.
Yeah.
In other words,
Everybody
this
else did.
holiday we're not only releasing the game you've been waiting for, but also Amiibo that literally gives you new ways to play. As you saw in my battle
Trying to understand
with
the literally
Snorlax,
there.
when you
Literally
use
gives you
an
new
Amiibo in
ways to
Super
play.
Smash Brothers for Wii U,
Literally.
that character will appear as a fighter.
Like, is that a
in
pun?
game
Am I not
and
getting
compete
it?
in battles, developing its own unique
I guess just
attributes
moving
and skills.
online slowly killed
You can
Amiibo
fight
because
against them yourself,
like no point to put
have
all
them
the
square
save
off
data
against
and like running
other
around to
Amiibo.
friends' houses and
That's
They
a
can
good
stuff.
even
point.
join you
Yeah.
and fight on the same
It was
team.
kind of like an extension of how
But
the
Super
Wii remote,
Smash
you could
Brothers
save a
is
couple
just
of
the
things to
start.
the internal memory of that
Amiibo
and
Play
bring
is
that to your
also
friends.
that.
here
Ah,
right now for
yeah.
a number of other Nintendo games. One of those is a game many of you are already playing, Mario Kart 8.
Oh
We'll
yeah,
have
the
more
Amiibo
details on
costumes.
that
Yep.
and other games soon. I'm
The Death
guessing you've
Star.
got a lot of
Yeah,
questions,
that's there.
But there's
They
much more to
knew.
cover in
They
this
knew.
digital event today. So I'm going to ask you to do this. When we're done here, at any
Chat's
time
all
you
over
can
it,
catch
too.
Nintendo of America's own Bill Trinan, who's hosting a dedicated Amiibo video that goes into a little more
Man,
detail.
I almost forgot how
So
hard
be
to do
sure to
Amiibo
find
they
him at
went during its
Nintendo.com.
reveal.
They really needed
Or
to make
the
sure
Nintendo
that the
channel.
Amiibo were noteworthy.
This
that
really
people
is
wanted.
like we need money fast. How can we make money?
Smash Brothers and
Yep.
Amiibo
Toys for everything we've ever made.
Yeah,
But now it's time to
And then
give
they
you
didn't
a
even go
sneak
all
peek
out with
at
it
some of the
until
many
years later.
projects involved.
And even then, that's
Whenever I'm over
Questionable.
in Japan and lucky enough to see these
Yeah.
new games, I'm reminded of the first video game I fell in love with. Super Mario World on my Super NES.
Yes,
I
good
played
choice.
it endlessly, finished with 99 lives, and I still have that cartridge. I bet you remember the first game you fell in love with too. Those of us who play games.
Why does this feel
know
like
that
oddly
there's
romantic
nothing
right
quite
now?
like them in the
yeah.
You're just looking
Those
deep
of us
into
Like
your
who
eyes.
roses around Red D.
know that no matter what's going
Like
on,
I'm getting a little uncomfortable.
we
It's
can
so
always
dark.
count on these
Reggie's
games
just
to deliver
directly looking
fun
at you.
and great gameplay.
Looking into our souls.
Because it's Nintendo. But what is it like to make these games? Well, you're about to find out directly.
Stop
from
pulling at our
developers.
heartstrings.
He
They're
said the
working
word.
on some amazing new projects that underscore the point that there's never been a better time to play games on Nintendo platforms. At the end of the day,
retroactively, that's
game
interesting.
creators
Like,
share
looking
one
back at
belief.
that 10 years later,
Right, it
there's
is.
nothing wrong.
There's certainly been better times now.
With that, I'm going to step aside to let our developers show you their new games.
I do like how, I like the heartfelt nature of it all, but also like the manipulative nature of it too, like trying to like, be like, remember all those great memories they had playing our games when we were successful,
They're still
Remember
wild.
that?
It's wild how we're over 13 minutes into this and we've only seen one Smash trailer. Two
one
Smash
game.
trailers, technically.
Yeah. That's how big Smash is.
Well, technically two games.
That's what I was supposed to say. Like two Smash
I'm
games.
Tezuka of Nintendo. How do you do?
Tezuka.
I'm Ebisu of the Goodfield Company.
I
Thanks
do.
for
I
having
love the background, already kind of like teasing what's
When
happening.
Nintendo reached out
Yeah.
to Goodfield,
Hmm.
we
Great
didn't
choice.
ask them to make Yoshi's Woolly World as a sequel to Kirby's Epic Yarn.
Still a great looking game.
It does
We
still
said
look
we
great.
wanted to make a Yoshi
This was the
game.
first time it was shown was during that Nintendo Games presentation in 2013, and then never talked about it for a
But
year
we
and a half.
asked them to
Oh,
use
and it
the
changed
yarn
a fair
fabric
amount, as I
as
recall,
materials
right?
For
Yeah.
creating new
Yeah.
gameplay mechanics.
I still want them
To
to make a
create a new
definitive
kind of
version of this
Yoshi
game.
game filled
Like the
with
3D,
Absolutely,
like
yeah.
all the concept in the 3DS version,
But
put
like
it on
in
Switch and, like,
HD
looks better,
resolution.
like,
Yeah.
that would be so
I
great.
always preferred the Wii U one because with
Kirby,
the
we
Wii
use
remote,
strands
you
of
could
yarn
like
as the core
twist
element
and
expresses
while
things
moving
through
Yoshi.
movement.
Yeah.
So it was
This
such
time,
perfect
now
movement.
that
It's
we
the
were
best that
working with a
Yoshi has ever
three-dimensional
felt.
world with depth,
Like just
the challenge
give me
was that a
everything from
single
both,
strand
and then even
wasn't
more
going to be
amiibo
visually
costumes. Like, come on.
impressive. So
And the ability to
having
make your
played
own.
the
Oh my god,
That
I
was a
remember
great piece of
I remember having to like sit there for an
We thought
hour
about
and scan
those
like
things
every
pretty
amiibo I
hard.
had to get all those freaking
They can
costumes
unravel
for a
Ah.
video.
and do a lot of
I think it's
things
more
like
than an
that.
hour, it's like a couple hours.
Yeah, it supported every
Both
amiibo when
Mario
it
and
was
Yoshi
released in
games are
2015.
2D action
See, that's a
platforming
big deal,
games.
and not enough games did. So
The problem
fair, I
too
already-
is
The big difference
Funny
is
enough,
that
that was one of the
Mario
first games I ever
are about
covered
performing
fully
challenging
for you because it
tasks
came out earlier in
within a
Europe.
given time limit.
oh, that's right. Yeah,
That's
back
right.
when they did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, because I
With
got a copy in
Yoshi
May, but
games,
just before
they
E3.
don't have any time limits.
Nice.
So you're able to
And then was at the
freely
Nintendo World
explore the
Championship, and
vast
they showed a
game
secret
world.
level. It's like, oh, so they get a permission to show
You
a
can
secret
make
level,
new
huh?
discoveries.
Yeah, they can do that apparently.
Yeah.
It's turning out to be an
Nubo
action
Jane
game
chat
where
says
you
this
can
game
have
is far
fun
better than
in a
Yoshi's
wide
Crafted World.
variety of
I
ways.
think a lot of people
Oh,
agree
sure.
with that. Yeah.
I've heard a
Yeah,
lot of it. Yeah, I've
100%.
heard that a lot.
Things like how far you can jump are set at a
It's
certain
not even
distance.
close.
So you would build the terrain with that in mind. But in the case of Yoshi, he's so almighty. If he tries, he can fly
Best
as far
Yoshi
as he
soundtrack,
wants.
too.
I like how they add a hashtag
His tongue
Yoshi
is
to
the
the
most
top right.
powerful weapon.
Oh, right back when that was
Maybe
the
we
hot
would
new
call it a
thing.
weapon. So as
I
we
also
were thinking
remember
about
Twitter.
how we should build the game,
What's a Twitter?
Kazuka-san told us that
Yeah.
it's centered around exploration. We took it as Yoshi's abilities.
We'll see if they put
are
in
there to be
QR
utilized
codes this
for
year.
exploration.
That'd be really
From
funny,
there, we were
actually.
able to progress with the game's development smoothly.
By using yarn, there are new ways to explore.
There are a lot of transformations in the game because Yoshi
It's so interesting
himself
too, since
is
this
made of
isn't
yarn.
branded like a direct, that you see like the really different way they're handling this presentation back then.
100%.
So this
Yeah.
time, we
Yeah,
put
there's
in
a very
player
deliberate
mode.
pacing, you know, like this, they're kind of
Two
slowing it
Yoshis
down.
appear, and
They're really like
Yeah.
actually
soaking
plays
in
really
each
well.
game, because partially because they have to, but
Two people can play
they're
to
really
help each
showcasing,
other
and
out.
again, like Nintendo generally does, all
So
gameplay.
in
Like we're
tough
seeing all gameplay
situations,
throughout.
If there are two players, they can
Which is
both
very good.
overcome it.
But I will say, you know, watching
Yoshi
this
can
in the
eat
moment
up and
back
spit
then,
out
it's like,
the
all right,
other
guys,
Yoshi, whereas
I get it.
What's next?
So, yeah,
This is
it's a yarn Yoshi
really
game.
co-op
Yes.
and can be used in a way to attack the other player.
I remember this being also the E3 where they got
Really,
it official,
a wide
the
range
name.
of gameplay is possible.
So they will likely show the name at the end.
Right.
We've made prototypes of
Yeah.
different ways to express the yarn fabric for Yoshi,
But
Spoilers, Don.
and we felt that
Just
the
trying to
stuffed
remind
yarn
myself of
Yoshi
the timeline
was
of this.
particularly attractive.
But yeah, like it really goes to show how well Nintendo
It was
games
quite a
age.
phase
Like
of
this is
trial and
10 years
error
ago.
until
You could
we
release it these
decided to
days and be
go
totally
with the
fine.
current
It still
form.
looks fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this time it's
Absolutely.
about a textured look. And we also wanted to give the world a handmade feel. But we then asked,
It's so funny how this is arguably like one of the most realistic looking games, you know, because like using
hoping
literal,
that would help
real
in
materials.
reflecting the
Yeah,
handmade feel
that's
of the
true.
game.
Nintendo's actually all about that realism, as it turns out.
Mm.
In a very different way.
There is certainly a key phrase that I have. It's amazing Yoshi.
Amazing. That didn't catch on.
Amazing-
Amazing Yoshi
that-
didn't quite catch on.
That's not quite a
I always want to
catchphrase.
put in the element of surprise.
Lost in translation, maybe.
I
Yeah.
want to make it a game that brings a smile to your face just by owning it.
Maybe it was actually Yoshi is amazing.
Yeah, it could be. Yoshi's legs turning into wheels is adorable. Forgot about that.
Yep, there you go.
All right, the first look. Captain
Oh,
Toad.
I was so excited for this. This was so unexpected.
Yeah.
Toad game. I love this game.
And you can tell right off the bat it was based on the levels from 3D World, which had come out the year before, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Shy Guy gang. The music's so happy. Like the theme is so good.
Time for adventure.
Yeah, exactly. And now he's got a movie. The Captain Toad's gone places.
I love the story of Captain Toad as a Mario character. Like they did so much with it.
Well, they actually made like. It feels like they finally made like Toad, who was kind of always unofficially a main character, but not. This is where it kind of cemented him as the Toad, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Early, yeah.
Yeah, I even love like the cube style levels still. Like it's such a fun way of presenting it.
I
What I like
remember.
in hindsight is the oxymoron that this is tied to 3D World, and then in the Switch 3DS version it's tied to Odyssey.
Yeah, that is very strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh!
Yeah, crazy ending. Like that was a good length for a trailer there. to get
Hey, look, I'm
excited.
Yeah, it
really
was.
sorry about kidnapping you 80 plus times, but my bad. So, is it cool if I have the last donut?
Yeah, you show him Peach.
I deserve that.
I completely forgot about that.
I forgot they kept going back to it. Oh, Legend.
What the wait? What is this? Don't tell me. I'm trying to think of what it is.
Sounds orchestrated.
Last year, I said that revisiting
It's a
the
segment.
conventions of the Zelda
It's a
series
it's
would be
that
our theme
segment.
for the new Zelda game for Wii U.
Do we know about? No,
However,
we
before
don't
I get
know
into
about it
that,
yet.
let me talk about something that I
We
needed
did,
to help
because they
to
talked about the
realize this
conventions
ambition.
in January
In fact,
2014.
it's
But they haven't
something
shown
that
Breath of the
we
Wild yet,
wanted
right, or
to do
Wii
for a
U?
long time
No,
in
this is the first time
Legend
we're
of
gonna see
Zelda
it,
series. And so development began with this as our focus.
I think they pre-announced
In the
this
earlier
somewhere.
releases of the Legend of Zelda games.
It's interesting to have
players
this
got
right
to
after Captain
explore a
Toad,
wide
since Captain
area,
Toad was
scrolling
originally
up,
pitched
down,
as a Zelda
left,
game.
and right.
That is interesting indeed.
Really?
Yeah.
However, after the game transitioned to 3D and the hardware continued to evolve, it became harder to create that feel of being in a vast world. For example, in Wind Waker, we used various techniques to create a wide world where you could freely explore many isolated islands. But it was very hard to create one large world where everything felt connected. We had
I'm
to
really
design
distracted by this
small,
like
bounded
void they
areas
have
with a
Aonuma in
defined
compared to all the
entrance
other
and
developers
exit.
in an actual room.
And putting them all together made it feel like you were playing
He's
a
in
large
the
world.
what's it called? The Underground of
But
Tears
you
of the
still
Kingdom.
couldn't
Like,
cut
he's
through
just
the
in this weird
boundaries wherever
void.
you'd like to explore that
Yeah.
world.
Well, he's like traveling
Today, I'd
between
like to talk
time
to
and opening
everyone
of
about
time,
the
like
latest
where the
guess so.
Zelda
triforce
game
is.
for Wii U.
Sacred Realm,
But first,
whatever it is.
There
please
we
take
go.
a look at how the game looks on screen.
I mean, this was
This is
wild,
okay. This is
but
our first look at it, right?
This
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
a new world.
This
I-
looks
I remember
amazing.
the hours of
It's
analysis
quite a
from this,
vast
yeah.
world, isn't it?
My infamous grass analysis from a subsequent trailer.
You can even reach those mountains in the distance if you walk far enough.
I'm gonna okay. To be fully real,
Such a
this still
wide
looks better
world
than the
like
actual
this in
game
the
ended up
past.
looking.
As
Yeah.
far as what you
It's
can do
close,
with such a
but
vast
yeah,
field
this
to
looks
explore,
amazing.
As soon as those boundaries are removed,
The visuals and the
it
art
means
style are a bit
you
different. I
can
think that's why,
enter
but yeah.
Does
any
this location
area
even
from any
actually
direction.
exist in the real game?
So the
No,
puzzle
it doesn't.
solving in this game
No.
begins the moment the player
I think
starts
you
to
might be able to
think
see
about
like the
where they
mount, the
wanna go,
twin peaks in the
how they will
background
get
there, like in the middle.
Yes,
what
I
they
do.
Yeah,
will
you
do
can
when
kind
they
of-
arrive.
Yeah.
This is
But I remember I
one
tried
break from
specifically looking for
conventions
this area of the
of
game.
past
I'm pretty sure it
games
just
of
does
Zelda
not
series,
exist.
Where you had to follow a
Wasn't
set
it the
path
same
and
like
play
the
through the
Game Awards
scenario
footage that a
in
bunch
the
of
right
the
order.
locations turned out to
I
be
believe
different?
this departure will create opportunities for new gameplay that have not been
So
experienced in previous Zelda
It
games.
is. This
As
is a
you can
crazy way to
see,
reveal a Zelda
and as
game,
you
by
know
the
from
way.
the Zelda series,
Just like
Sure
a
is, yeah.
casual look at the,
peaceful.
you know,
However,
lush
it is a
environment.
Zelda game after all, so strong enemies will certainly appear, even in this setting. Powerful enemies appearing in such a peaceful world is one of the defining
Well, it just hints
features
at
of
all the
Zelda
potential that's
I think that
could
Totally.
have.
And that's the whole point, exactly. It's great.
right?
Here we go. All right. I remember like thinking, what is that thing? Why is it chasing him? I wish I could smash your walls in the final game. That would have been amazing.
I do wish this level of interactivity from the Guardians was what we actually got.
Right? Yeah,
They
like breaking
chased
through
it
prisons.
anywhere, even into town.
Totally. That'd be amazing. But this is straight up from the game, so
This is, yep.
Yep.
My first look at Link, yep.
love it.
Yeah, sure,
Oh
but
yeah,
And they
about
said,
that.
yeah, sure.
They knew. There's no way they didn't know that was not gonna make 2015. They lied. What the hell is this? Is this Pokemon?
this Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 2014, so this was.
Is this Oras?
Oras,
Ruby
yeah.
Apple
What a,
Sapphire?
okay, real quick.
Yeah.
What a quick transition from Zelda to this. Like, I feel like we needed a little bit. I needed some time to breathe. I needed time to
Yeah.
think about it.
We didn't get time to think about Captain Toad.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I enjoyed ORS.
Me too.
Especially the post-game content with the episode.
Oh yeah, that was pretty good.
Basically,
I think this is a great advertisement for this too.
yeah, I guess.
Because
I
like
enjoyed it
before
more
this,
than
we
Xbox
knew
One.
they were coming, but I don't remember if we saw much of these remakes at this point. I think we just knew they were happening.
Yes.
So like this was like really great to see, like just how good it looks.
What was
and-
that Pac-Man sequence? They're following the dot trail.
I think that was like the path for like a platform.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
I never played this game.
Man, now I want to replay this.
Sadly, you can't play online anymore, but
I mean, I could still play through the game. But,
Do you ever take those gloves off?
No! Take my gloves off, do whatever I want.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Shut up!
Poor
Witches get dragged to hell.
I forgot Bayonetta.
Bayonetta. I forgot that too.
Yeah.
Yep.
These are the gates.
Did we know Platinum was making Star Fox at this point?
No, I don't think so.
No, I don't
no,
think
we
so.
did
Get
not.
on the
No.
other side of these. Let's
So
just say
it's interesting how well that worked as a transition in hindsight now, the robot chicken portion.
That's true.
welcome to hell, love. I'm not one for pets who don't listen to their masters.
Someone else says, little did we know she'd be the final character to join Smash.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ark says, this is such a banger of a direct, my god. It's been good so far.
Go to hell and means take me there.
It really puts into perspective, too, just how much Nintendo shows nowadays, too, in their directs.
That's a good point. Yeah, they fly through things a little bit quicker in general.
Oh yeah, their pacing is inherently different from what it used to be.
Yep.
You can go another round.
Oh, yeah, this is where they announced that it came with Bayonetta 1.
Oh my,
Yep.
the Princess Peach outfit?
Costumes.
Yeah.
I love the rupees, oh my god.
Off, Featherface.
So you could
Samus.
probably move that visor up and down with
You can move the visor up and down.
Those are
even
so
again.
good! I forgot
So
how good those costumes were.
No,
They,
it's actually incredible.
they didn't return the
Yeah.
Switch, right? They were gone, weren't they? Or did they?
They were still, I think they were still.
I think
in the
they
They're
were
still there?
in the
Okay,
Switch.
alright.
Yeah.
It's a neat tie.
General producer of
You could just
Hyrule
move the
Warriors,
visor of
Koinuma
That's
the
right.
Now it's
Hyrule
so-
I'm the
Warriors.
development producer of Hyrule Warriors.
Yes.
Hayashi of Koei Tecmo.
So we knew about the
I'm
game
Nintendo
at this point, right?
Supervisor.
Yes,
Yeah.
this was
Okay.
announced December
There are a lot of
2013.
us in the Hyrule
It was-
Warriors
yeah, I think it
development
was-
team
yeah.
who
Temporary
grew up
title.
playing The Legend of Zelda.
And
They
now
stopped
there's
with
decided,
Hyrule
this is when they revealed, no, we're sticking with that title.
Yeah.
Right.
So getting the chance to work
Well,
on
it's
this
funny
series,
hearing
we
now
were actually a little nervous.
Kid and Christopher talking about how they were worried about this game coming out in America and I didn't want it to.
Koinuma-san
because of the
told us we
quality.
could do whatever we like a number of times.
Meanwhile,
Became the action style that it is
love
now.
this game now.
I love this game too.
I
Big
don't.
difference
I respect
between
your
this
thoughts.
and the Zelda games is that you're fighting an army, and there are multiple battles occurring on the field at once. If your forces are in trouble, you'll get a warning, so you have the option to go out there and help out your allies.
But the cast of characters were just so fun to play around with.
What I think
That
is
is a
great
part,
with
yeah,
the
that's one of the
Zelda
cool
world
things about
how
it. Is it
giant
brings back a lot of
bosses
fan
appear.
favorites that we hadn't really seen
And you have to
outside
think
of their
about how to beat them.
individual games.
Since so many
I think
Zelda
those
games
things are what
really
makes
are
the
just
essence of Zelda,
self-contained one adventure,
which I think
so
is
Exactly.
we
a
normally
discovery
wouldn't
for
see those
fans of the
characters
Dynasty
again.
Warriors
So it was a great way
series.
to get more of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Letting you play as the
also
Twilight
a two-player
Princess,
mode.
whatever,
You can play two players
Midna,
Midna,
yeah.
yes.
TV and gamepad.
Also, I
It's
love
not a split
Zelda
screen
design in this
experience,
game.
so you're able to each be fully
really
immersed in a
good.
single screen.
I'm just amazed they can sit cross-legged like that for a long time.
There are a lot of playable characters, but you know, since it's The Legend of Zelda,
We say let Aonuma
there
out
are
of his
Link
void
and
for this
Princess
segment.
Zelda. Impa, who appears through the series, is playable as well. Also, Midna from Twilight Princess makes an appearance as a playable character. If there is a certain character you like in the series,
And the music too.
this is the first
So much
game
good
where
music.
you'll be able to play as your favorite character.
There are a lot of playable characters in the Dynasty Warrior series. But man, the ideas they come up with for what kind of moves they give the characters are amazing. They really think of amazing things.
Some of the movesets are definitely really fun for a lot of the characters. It's kind of wild that just this early look at it, they only really show these
now,
4 characters.
It's really turning
when
out
there's
to
like
be
the
a
original
Zelda
trailer in that
collaboration.
2014 direct was just
Hyrule
Link.
Warriors.
So
Yep.
Right.
they kind of had to show more.
But I think Tris is saying that there's far more in the final game, right? than
Yeah,
what we're
that's
seeing.
far. Yeah, that's far more in the final game,
It's like a
especially
celebration of both
subsequent
franchises.
releases
I
and
really hope you all look
DLCs
forward
and
to it.
etc. Constantly adding
As a
more.
collaborative
Yeah,
title,
but
I think
this
the
is the
initial
the essence of
yeah.
Zelda and the essence
ahead,
of
Tr-
The
Dynasty
initial release had a good
Warriors,
amount of
as well as
characters,
a lot
but
of
I
other
felt it
essences
really
they
came to its
have
own
all
with the
mixed
3DS
in
release
to
and then the
form a brand
DLC
new
that came to the Wii U
experience. It'll
version.
be
Right.
great if
Yep.
both fans get interested in playing the other series. It'll make me really happy if they all have fun playing.
Well, don't
Oh,
worry,
yeah.
Alan,
It's only
I
a couple months
definitely
away.
had fun playing this.
God, 10 years ago. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Hyrule Warriors did not feel 10 years ago. What? Oh, Kirby! Okay, this game's underrated. This is a good
Yeah.
game. And it should... Oh, it looks so good, too!
This is another one where they have that like very specific art style that looks so good.
Yeah, exactly. That was the worst thing about the game, is you almost had to look at the gamepad the entire time, so couldn't appreciate
Yeah.
how freaking good it looked on the TV. EB, the original Master, says the only Kirby game on Wii U. I didn't even realize that. Wow.
Yeah.
Look at oh man,
yeah.
Wispy Woods looks amazing.
I
Yeah,
think
the
just
main games
recently
were
I was
all-
seeing.
The main games are all on 3DS, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was saying recently I regret not getting this game because at the time it felt a little close to the handheld one.
Right. Canvas Curse. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Top Dog. Heck yeah. Oh, what is this?
This seems like
Xenoblade Chronicles
Xenoblade
X.
Oh, okay. I would have never gotten
No, it's
that.
Metroid.
This is
Resident was
the first reveal of this game, if I remember correctly.
No.
No, we had it revealed before then.
The initial trailer was all the way back during that January 2014 direct.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha. So the first time in a long time we had seen it.
Yeah. I think this is the showcase of Elma as a character for the first time.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I like that Independence Day opening on the moon.
I still hope they remake this for Switch or Switch 2 or whatever.
They should.
It's kind of surprising they haven't ported it over.
Yeah.
I think now that they quote-unquote finished the mainline Xenoblade games, now they maybe can put attention on this, but...
I remember the open world here looking incredible. Which is why that developer helped out with Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it has one of the most impressive standalone worlds on Wii U for sure.
Right.
And that's why I'm still surprised. It hasn't come to Switch at all.
Well, maybe it's in some vault somewhere.
It's kind of crazy that...
Maybe...
Oh, go ahead, Tress.
I was agreeing with Tom, maybe it isn't somewhere.
I forgot about this.
It's just not
Thanks for
fun.
coming back, Mario.
Maybe now you reconsider announcing Mario Ballet.
Mario Ballet.
Star Fox!
I forgot he came back! Completely forgot about that.
Kills.
Where's Oh, Mario Maker! Oh my god, this
Yeah.
was like... So we knew this was coming. It was people had seen banners at E3 like a day or two earlier.
Yeah, correct, yeah.
I was so hyped for this. This game is amazing. Honestly, I think this is one of the best games Nintendo has made in the last 10 years, fittingly enough.
Yeah.
Congratulations!
This was a very early version. It wasn't even called Super
Yeah.
Mario Maker yet.
Yeah, I think it even looked even more clearly based on Mario Paint in this era. Like, it still is the final game. Like, Undo Dog, was he... I forget exactly what they changed, but...
I mean, the original version, yeah, the fly would still fly around.
That
in
was it.
create mode.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is almost like peak Nintendo. Like, such a magical game, I think.
You know, I just had a core memory. They announced the actual Super Mario Maker bit during the World Championships the year after.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So what do you mean?
So they did a trailer, plus they added the super at the beginning of the title.
Oh,
during
yes.
the World Championships.
Oh, weird Mario.
Oh yeah.
It's so horrible.
Weird mushroom.
So this is
horrifying.
Yeah, so this is when it was still just Mario Maker, not Super Mario
Yes.
Maker. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do think it's a better title. I think it's a cleaner title. I wish they'd gone with it. Not a huge deal.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
kind of agree actually.
They're only trolling Mario!
This is
Yeah.
like putting Sims in a pool.
Mario teabagging at the end.
And then we have the reveal of Splatoon.
Yeah, oh my god! This is getting better and better!
Huge year.
Yeah! Mario Maker's one they should have like done a deep dive into as well, but...
Yeah, this was the everybody going, what am I looking at
Yeah,
here?
what is this?
Yeah.
10 years ago to the day.
Happy 10th anniversary, Splatoon.
Yeah, no kidding. This arguably saved Nintendo. Splatoon.
The way
Well,
it
that's a
jumped up
smash.
to one of the like really big IPs now, yeah. In terms
Yeah.
of like a presence, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that anyone outside of
Hi,
Wii U
I'm
owners
Nogami,
knew about this game
producer of Splatoon.
spoke highly of how good
One of
Splatoon
the game's
was.
directors.
And I'm another director, Sakaguchi.
Splatoon is an 8-player, 4-on-4
I remember the
online
demo
multiplayer
of this
action
just
game.
having an early version of Urchin
It's all about
Underpass and
controlling
nothing else.
territory.
Yep.
Mm.
And it was
Like
so
this.
fun, though. It was
Clean
so
their
fun
turf
at
by
E3.
splattering the map with
Yeah, it
ink.
was-
And the team with the most territory,
It was,
when time
like,
runs out, wins.
I was surprised how long it
Nogami's
took to
son
develop
actually
after,
came up
but
with
just
the
that
squid
vertical
idea.
slice at the
One day,
time.
out
Like,
of
it
the
seemed
blue, he
done.
was like,
Yeah.
hey, let's make them squids.
Rather than designing
Yeah,
the
they nailed that
characters
vertical
and then making
slice,
a game
though.
around that, we instead came up with the game first, and then created characters we thought would work well with the gameplay.
Oh, that one looked
That's actually how
horrifying.
Nintendo prefers to approach game design.
One day,
I like how
when
they filmed this at an
Sakaguchi-san and
aquarium.
I were hanging out on our day off.
Yeah, I
he
actually
said,
went to that aquarium last year.
What if you're
Which
able
is
to
fitting,
choose between
given
being a
today's
squid
Animal
and a
Crossing
person?
news expanding
For
to
example,
aquariums all over the
say you
country.
can only
Or
shoot
world,
Yeah.
as a
maybe.
person. But as
No,
a
I think it's
squid,
just in the
you're
US
able
for
to
now.
perform
Okay.
a wider range of actions. With that as our main concept, we thought about different ways to expand the gameplay.
Man,
And
seeing
the squid
early
idea
versions of all
meshed
the
perfectly.
stages they were developing
We thought of
seems
things
kind of
like,
insane
what
now.
if you can swim really fast in your own ink
Like
as a
in the
squid?
mall.
Or
That-
what if your
that
feet
came
get
back to
stuck
Splatoon
when
3.
walking through enemy ink? Through this process,
So
we
the,
kept
this
expanding the
was
game's
the like
features,
very
which
first reveal
brought
of
us to
Splatoon,
where
right?
we're
We
at
had
Yes.
now,
for
with
this?
players
Yeah.
able
Yes.
to do
Yes,
things
it
like
was.
ink and swim up walls. And
Oh,
Yeah,
this
it-
looks very different from what it ended up being.
Creative
Oh my
idea.
It
god.
is kind of funny, Trust, looking back how subdued it
Your
seems
first
almost
priority is
for
shooting ink to
how
expand your
crazy the
territory.
game
Yeah.
became. Yeah.
Once you've
Yeah.
done that, you've got more
Just like,
turf to
oh,
move
by the
through
way,
as a
we
squid
came
and
up
make
with this
use of your
game.
squid
You're
abilities.
like a squid.
Yeah, you try to do a
It's surprising you're
squid.
not doing like a big hype
When you're
trailer
using
first,
the
then
Right.
next. They had
Yeah.
this very like
Or
you said, like
tilt the
subdued,
gaze
kind of like
downward
quieter,
to
like
ink.
talking about
It's
games.
really
Like you
natural
know,
and intuitive.
that's
I'm
very
honestly
surprising.
sure that
these
the first time they
controls are a
showed this,
great
people
use
were
of the
just
gamepad's
like,
gyro
what is
sensor.
this?
Right.
Like,
An
looking back
overhead
at this
view of the
now is
entire
really
map
more
also
funny.
displayed on the game
It
pad.
is.
Nintendo's
You
like,
can
we
check
have
it
to
see
promote a
what
live
colors of
service
ink are
game.
being splattered where in real time.
I mean, it's almost crazy to think how
This really lets you keep an eye
how
on the
unique
battle
this
is
game
unfolding.
was. You know, like completely different, and it seems like Nintendo's like, we need to explain what this
Normally with
is.
shooters,
Yeah.
you only get moment-to-moment glimpses of the action. But because of the
Pikmin,
layering
I
nature
agree.
of
Pikmin says,
splattering
I
the
always
ground
wish I did a
paint,
crossover with Mario
you can tell
Sunshine.
by
I had,
glancing
I
at
think I
the
made a whole
map
video
what
about
other players are
that,
up to
talking about how
and
to
what
give
ahead.
Delfino, Delfino as a stage. Like, that'd be amazing.
It would have been
Adds a
so
new
good.
It would
layer
have been so good!
to a game
What a
like this.
flood weapon.
I remember
Game
a fake leak with
spices it up a
Mario
bit.
in like the Splatoon
The
setting.
other neat use of the
Anyone
gamepad
remember
is
that?
making use of
That was
your
weird.
allies'
Wait, say again?
icons displayed
There was
on the map.
a fake leak with like Mario
If you
in a
tap one of
Splatoon
these
stage based on
icons,
Sunshine.
your
Oh, I do
allies
remember
will
that,
I do
yeah.
remember the big look at that, yeah.
I'll say
And
that
land
perhaps
next to them,
Splatoon
ready to
did
go.
well enough that they didn't have to go to that, and they could keep the game separate.
That's true.
This is just one more mechanic that adds a nice
But,
twist to the
but
strategy.
the Inklings in Mario Kart.
Your enemies are shooting ink as well.
It's also funny to see
With regular
Nogami
guns, you can't really see bullets flying
embracing
by.
with the lab
But
coat
since this is
jacket.
I was saying that
Yeah,
he's not a
it's
professor
Splatoon
yet.
era.
From around a corner,
I was thinking the
and you'll
same
know,
thing.
Hasn't earned the
Yeah.
there's
degree.
a bad guy over there.
Yeah. He's just being the
If you
producer
forge
straight up
forward
like,
and ink a
well, this
path,
is a game we're making.
Your allies will be able to use it to follow you, and you'll be able to get to your enemy's territory quicker.
If only they
But
would
on the other
invent a
hand,
way
they
so
can
waves
just
of
ink over that
salmon
and
come
ruin
at
your
you.
strategy.
It's so sad that you can't officially play this game online
this
anymore.
way,
Just a
Splatter
few
and
months
Leap is
shy of
both
its
an
10-year
offensive
anniversary,
and a
you know, or
defensive tool.
announcement at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are a lot of different
Yeah.
ways to
We
play
just have to
depending on your
pretend.
style. Some people like to stay hidden in the ink for a long time and wait for the perfect chance to pop out. Other people just
But yeah, this stage in
blaze
particular
ahead,
has
picking a
really
path to try to
changed
get
from
as
the
far as
from
they
the
can
actual
into
final
enemy
game,
territory
because the
as
middle and the
fast as they
water
can. There are
was
a lot
never
of
there.
different
You could just
tactics you
walk
can
around
employ,
there
but
in the
no
final
matter
game.
how you play, the ink you're shooting has an effect on everyone else. You'll never feel like you're playing alone or in a vacuum. It's pretty magical, really. Amano-san, you like to try and ambush people, right?
Do I? Yeah, I guess so.
I play it a bit safer and lay down a lot of ink and make it hard for enemies to advance into my
like you're a
Look
bit
at
of a
that,
jerk.
trying to
I like
keep
to
up
say
with the
your hands
hand
protect
movements
face.
with
Yeah,
the camera.
that's not my style at all.
I'm
Not
just
working.
playing bad.
Yeah, Nogami-san, you're
I'm
really
just
not
playing
very
bad. I love the honesty. Okay, so this is...
These are actual first trailer.
Yeah, this almost feels like what they should have opened with. But it's like, we have
Yeah.
to explain this before we actually show off the game.
Yep.
While they're learning from their previous presentations, maybe.
Yeah.
That main theme just stayed the same though.
Changed a little bit, but it's like same melody. Yeah.
Yeah, just the melody.
This game is wild. Like, this game is just so crazy. And it was so good. Like, this for...
big
This,
that franchise become, especially during the Switch.
sorry, say again, Don?
Crazy how big this franchise has become, particularly
Yeah.
during the Switch.
Oh, it's huge. It's like, who knew? Who would have known from this day it would become one of Nintendo's biggest franchises?
Yep.
Yeah.
Do they tease one of the best last bosses ever?
I don't think they do. I don't think they even talk about the single player, really.
No, I
No,
don't
the
think- I
game
don't-
made in Nintendo Direct later in the year. Actually.
Right. Which is, again, also pretty uncharacteristic of Nintendo, you know? Like, they don't have too many, especially then, too many multiplayer-focused games, you know?
Well,
Yep.
that just about wraps up things
Oh
for the
no.
Nintendo Digital.
We're almost
event.
done.
But at the same time,
There's gotta be one more
it's
thing,
the
though, right?
beginning of your continuous contact with Nintendo at the show this year.
We're in that
First of
era
all,
of,
I don't know how I
this
feel
is-
about that continuous
We invite you
contact.
to stay tuned on Nintendo's Twitch channel.
It was the
for
first
our
time they did, I
post-show
think, Treehouse
recap,
Live as well.
Nintendo Minute Live at E3.
Oh, it was Nintendo Minute Live. It
There's
wasn't even Nintendo
more
Treehouse
game
Live.
news we didn't have
Well,
time
no,
to
it was also
squeeze
Treehouse,
into
I
this
think, this
video.
year.
If you're in the LA area,
Oh yeah, the
we
Invitational.
invite you
Yep.
to come on down to
Yeah.
the Super
That was fun.
Smash
With the
Bros.
Hungry Bucks moment.
Invitational this afternoon. It's a one-of-a-kind tournament in the Nokia Theater at LA Live. To see as much Super Smash Brothers live action as you could ever want.
I don't know about that,
You'll find more
Reggie.
details at
People want a lot of Smash.
Nintendo.com/invitational. But Nintendo's experience at E3
What was it? We were like
was
walking
also
by one
spreading
year and it's like
across the
Aonuma
country.
smoking
Thanks.
Smoking outside, yeah, we walked right past him.
Smash
You'll
Fest was
find more
best buy.
details
Mr. Who says
at
something survived the Nintendo Minute
bestbuy.com/.
Purge. That's right, Nintendo did not count for this.
Just follow along.
You can't take this away, Nintendo.
They can use the YouTube editor. We have to be careful.
You're right, actually.
Broadcasting Nintendo Treehouse Live at E3
And then there's
from the
Nintendo
show
Treehouse
floor
Live, yep.
directly on Nintendo's Twitch channel. If you care about games,
Nintendo's Twitch
want to see
channel.
more of the action, and hear from many of the
Like,
people who created those
Hey,
games,
besides having to cover
this
E3,
is
you also
binge
have to
heaven.
keep an eye on
And
Nintendo
yes,
Trios
Mr.
Live.
Miyamoto
Yeah, that was
will be
fun.
among the guests. Follow us on our Twitch and YouTube channels.
Yep.
Get more information at Nintendo.com.
Now,
Follow
despite
us
that,
on
I kind of
Facebook
miss when they
and
do the
Twitter,
Treehouse
and
Lives.
join
I kind
the
of
Miiverse.
want them to do like a big direct
We've
every
covered
year
a lot
still
of
where they
ground
did
today.
Treehouse
So I
Live
wanna
and
thank
actually
you for
showcasing
watching.
more of the games.
Right.
I
Just
just
can't
enjoyed
leave
that.
you without
Especially now that
more
everyone's
Hold
Hold
online.
on.
And
One more thing.
Enjoy E3 and play Nintendo.
We got one more thing. What is it? Smash. We're going back to Smash. Who is it?
This was such a good animated trailer.
Yeah, it was.
These little Kid Icarus shorts were actually very good.
They were
Seeing
great.
them animate a Smash trailer was great.
the misdirection.
Oh, I forgot this. Oh, he charged it up.
If only Link could actually aim his arrows in the air.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yes,
False
to account for the
advertising.
win.
Or
Same thing
have
with the
that
hook shot.
repeat.
Oh, that'd be amazing, right? Using the hook shot as a weapon. That's why I want 3D Smash Brothers.
Like that. 3D Smash would be great.
Wow, it'd be like
Least
Soul
threatening of his weapons.
Oh.
Lady Valentina? Oh, I'm not here to save you.
I'm not here to save you, sends him away.
Yeah, it's so good.
I'm doing myself.
I'm here for a little, divine intervention.
That's a great line. That's a great line.
And this was back when she had crazy, like, choose your own moveset.
Right.
Kind of thing.
I'm no stranger to fighting.
Yeah, that was a strange thing. I get why.
I love the idea of the custom characters, but the fact that it was only the Palutena to take advantage of it was...
Wait, did the Mii's not even?
No, the Mii's. There was the Mii's and Palutena.
Okay, that's right.
And like, but everyone else, it was like variations of their existing moves.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so strange. Why did they go that route with Palutena? Like, she's not...
It's because Sakurai was really proud of Kid Icarus Uprising.
Yeah, I guess that's probably it. How do I pack in everything about this character?
Remind you that Kid Icarus Uprising is now available on the 3DSE shop.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Anything to me, Lady Palutena.
Because they only added it like a year and a half after it came out.
Many worthy foes have gathered here, and I won't hold back on anyone.
Oh, that was a good reveal trailer. That was fun.
It was a very fun one.
Yeah, the 2D animation to begin with is great.
And end with.
Oh.
Dark Pit, you just dropped in to crash my party?
And he was a character in this game too, right?
Yes.
So, yeah,
in
that's
retrospect,
awesome.
it's actually really funny that
I
people
remember this.
I forgot about this. The random Star Fox tease. They blurred out.
The not actually one more thing, but two more things.
Yep.
宮本です。こんにちは。今ゲームパッドとテレビを使った新しい
I remember this
ゲームをいっぱい作ってま
initiative.
す。これはね、とても新しい体験のゲームがたくさんできたんですけど
They
も、
showed also
今度
Project
E3 で
Giant robot.
Giant Robot.
Yep.
ゲームパッドを使った
Which our video for that is like one of the only videos you could find, and it's done quite well as a result.
周りで見てる人も楽しいんですね。
And Guard was another
ぜひと
thing.
も
And then Mario Maker was the last part of that puzzle.
E3 のフロアでも見ていってください。
It's so weird. Why
Fun.
did they blur Star Fox? Like, just either it looked horrible or it was an intentional tease just because.
I think it's intentional tease.
Yeah.
Teasing, like, mystery.
Wow, that was it, everyone. So, what did we think of reliving Nintendo's 2014 E3?
Mm-hmm.
It's great to see the difference of what they did now, like back then versus now, because I love how in depth they actually went in on some of these games where normally those would be saved for like separate developer commentary videos released later on kind of thing. But I kind of love how they slowed down. They took the time to like show you a game and go, here's the vision of this game. Here's why we're passionate about this game. And there's an element to that I really do miss, even though I do like how much more content they have in them now. I do kind of miss that. I'm a little surprised that they did so much there with the robot chicken animation and didn't bring it back for the end though.
Yeah, that's actually a good point. That is an odd inconsistency. That would have been a really good to have like Reggie wrapping it up that way or something.
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Tris, you're bringing up a good point actually. This like, you know, as a diehard Nintendo fan, right? Obviously, growing up with them, like these directs back then were Nintendo directs. Like everything you were going to see related to Nintendo in some way, right? And that's no longer the case these days. There's a lot of third parties, a lot of indies. Nothing against them, of course. I love both of those, but I like that. On some level, I cared about almost every announcement here, even whether or not I end up liking the final game. But like, I was excited to see everything, and that's no longer the case, which is interesting.
In chat, Pac-Man was revealed this E3, but later the same day at like a press event.
Which is, I was at that press event. I was in the room when they announced it. It was a pretty cool trailer too, as I recall. I think they eventually released it. I don't know why they announced it that way though. It made zero sense to have like press randomly tweet out that they saw Pac-Man at Smash. Why would you like what? I feel like that is a bad announcement. That's a bad way of announcing it.
Maybe
I released later I think it was still on my. I think I deleted it on my YouTube. The audio from the press event where we were overreacting to the.
Oh really? Oh man, do you still have that? That'd be cool to.
Somewhere, yeah.
It could be because they were just trying to get other beats later on. Like they didn't want it to overshadow other announcements there. They wanted like a second.
Right. But they could have released it at the same time then, which they didn't do, as I recall.
No, they did not.
Yeah. Tris, what did you? Sorry, actually, Tris, do you have to go pretty soon, or?
No.
Okay. Oh, I thought you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good time. Okay, good. All right, Don, what did you think of looking back on all this?
It is roughly how I remember it being, because unlike Nintendo Directs, there's a lot more focus on third parties. It was purely first party focused, which in one way or another I way more appreciate, because especially back then, especially after 2013, where they had a good run that second half of the year, things really slowed down.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think they showed their A game, particularly during this presentation. And I think it's honestly like the best one they had during an E3 during this generation of consoles.
And even with the focus on first parties, they still had like third-party developer stuff. Like they had Platinum Games making Bayonetta 2. They had Hyrule Warriors, and it's definitely kind of a start, so to say, of what we see in later Nintendo Directs, where we do have a much bigger presence of like third parties and indies and just anything coming to the platform.
Yep.
Tom, as one who was there at the time and then remember playing some of these games afterward, what kind of stood out to you looking back on this?
Well, it's like, it's funny, like Splatoon being not as obviously like what it was compared to how well it played at the show. Like I remember playing a ton of Splatoon, and like comparing nowadays to like the pacing of directs, where it feels like they get these little 2-minute chunks almost, and they shove in as many games as possible to having like a bigger look.
Right.
And yeah, maybe not understanding the impact of Mario Maker. Like I'm sure I tried some Mario Maker and stuff, but it's probably like such a limited time at the show. Like didn't have much time to
I think
build
there were
levels.
like 10-minute demos, maybe longer, but I think it was like about 10 minutes, which is not enough time to like make. I spent literally 60 hours on some stages, so 10 minutes is not enough to.
I think that demo also was pretty limited to the year that came after. Yeah, because they showed it properly the year after that with all 4 styles and everything. Because even then, we didn't have the Mario 3 or the World style in that specific demo. It was purely Super Mario Brothers and New Super Mario Brothers.
So,
yeah, but
go ahead.
Well, I think like Captain Toad and stuff like that was fun to play, but like stuff like that doesn't hit. But just looking back and seeing the impact of some of these franchises, or like Mario Maker and Splatoon in particular, it's maybe I didn't appreciate it as much back then. That's what I would say.
That's true.
But we also didn't know, right? We could only see what we could have sound back then. And it's like, it's funny to look back at them now, especially how successful Mario Maker turned out to be, together with Splatoon and Smash for the Wii U, because I think those were the 3 biggest sellers next to Mario Kart.
Yeah.
So, and all of them having in the same presentation and then being followed up on the year after is pretty hilarious in hindsight.
In what way do you think? Just that the people knew about them?
Yeah, we knew about them, but they only like really came together the year after that and sort of formed the pillars for that 2015, which made the presentation, I think, during that year also a bit lessened.
That's a good point. No, that's actually a great point. I think it's hard to fully remember. You have a great memory for this stuff, Don. Like what the context was and everything then. And yeah, if we already knew about, I mean, in many cases, I think people are like, okay, what's the next big announcement, right? And to open with like 20 minutes for a game we already knew about, or however long it was, I can see that being, I can see it being a little deflating, especially for a console that was chronically under, staffed, I guess, chronically under, didn't have a ton of games, right? And I wonder almost if Smash might work better as maybe a media or a middle portion for the direct. So you open up with like a big new announcement, then you lead into Smash, and then you end on the quicker paced announcement that they ended up having. So
I think it's interesting that the Zelda reveal was literally in the middle.
Yeah, that could have been the beginning.
Or the end.
I actually totally agree. Had you open or the end, I think had they opened maybe with Zelda, that actually it's worth it. You could just probably reorder this a little bit, and you could probably make it even stronger. I think opening with Zelda would, maybe even ending. Honestly, either one. Ending might have been. I think ending and Zelda would have been huge. So
yeah,
right.
It almost feels like the trailer was cut that way too, like how they just unceremoniously moved on to Pokemon, which felt really weird. That was a really weird transition. But I mean, ultimately, it doesn't really matter. So.
No, I definitely agree there. I think the idea that you have so many announcements here that if you structured it differently, it kind of would have felt like closer to what we get for directs nowadays too, because we're so used to nowadays they have a strong opener. Usually they have some sort of opening trailer that's either a brand new announcement or an announcement they know everyone's been waiting for an update on, and then they end with the one more big thing.
Right.
And yeah.
I think Lego Fans of Splatoon should have been the end. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but I think you bookend with Splatoon and Zelda. Like, either one or the other at the start and end. That would have been, I think that would have been peak. So, they put Smash in the middle, or rather not in the middle, but closer to the beginning, but after, like, a few minutes of announcements, so...
But for Smash, let's keep in context that they put so much effort into that presentation with Iwata and
exactly, that's a great point,
so
right.
That's probably why they did it.
For sure.
Yeah.
I can see that, so... And that was
they
a
could
great
have just had
opening.
Splatoon guys could have just had a paint fight. I mean, come on.
You know what I almost wonder they could have done? You keep the Smash opening, you move on to other announcements after, then you circle back to Amiibo later. I think there was a lot of Smash all at once, but, you know, we're kind of splitting hairs. I think overall... Go ahead.
Especially since they did all that for Amiibo, and then to have Reggie go, so you want to hear more about Amiibo after all about it? Brennan has a video for you. That out. It's like, couldn't have been in that then?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I think the structure was weird, but overall, like, the content was really good.
I fully agree. It'd be interesting. I have to go back and watch our own impressions to see what I thought in the moment. But like looking at it now, I'm like there was a lot of great games here. A lot of good announcements, a lot of great games. Maybe not enough, I suppose. You know, it didn't change the course of the Wii U. But it was, as a Nintendo fan, I right now watching, I'm like, man, there was some great stuff here. Mario Maker, Splatoon ended up being two of my favorite games on the Wii U. We got a tease of course, the Zelda that would save Nintendo with a Switch. And with little do we know at that point that it would become a major Switch title, and of course you had a lot of other great smaller in quote titles like Captain Toad, Mario Maker, which is great. Yeah, just a lot of really good stuff. Yoshi's Woolly World, right? So
it's almost like if Breath of the Wild did come out in 2015, like would that have saved Wii U?
It wouldn't. I don't think it would have saved Wii U, but it would have helped. I think it would have helped.
Yeah.
So,
what would that world be like? I wonder. Yeah. Where's that timeline?
So I look outside and there's like Guardians walking around.
The only thing I remind myself of that discussion is that I think it was that same year, right, of the Game Awards with Zelda, where Anuma and Miyamoto have a discussion during that bit, and they're like, so which of our games is coming out sooner? And Anuma's like, don't worry, I'm pretty sure that Zelda is launching next year.
Yeah, every release date was just wrong until finally released. And also, we never got to see the gamepad functionality in the actual game. We see that during the Game Awards, but it was removed in the final product, unfortunately. So
yeah, 100%.
It could have been a better game on Wii U. Had it released in 2015.
I remember the Wii U gamepad for it. It was good.
I remember being in 2016 during that E3. I think the gamepad functionality was still somewhat there, and they removed it in the final game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, it is interesting. I will say, looking back at this, I don't think this, even in 2014, Nintendo didn't do a great job of selling the gamepad. Like they showcased it a few times. Like it's used in some games. Like specifically here, they showed how it's used in Mario Maker and Kirby. Did they even show it being used in Splatoon? I don't remember. Did they even showcase that?
They showed the map a little bit. Yeah.
But they're really kind of like under like. What's what I'm looking for? Like they're really not like focusing on it as a highlight of the system anymore at this point. It seemed.
Yeah, just the games. They kept it subtle.
Right, which maybe was the right decision. I don't know. So, yeah.
I mean, it wasn't until later that day when we had hands-on that we realized, like the gamepad is integral to the Splatoon experience because you're constantly looking down and moving the gyro around.
I still think, too, Splatoon, I think, is still better with a gamepad. I know in many games you can just use a button and bring up the map. Splatoon specifically, I don't know what it is. I loved having the gamepad there, and I liked having that map.
Same about Mario Maker.
Absolutely Mario Maker, yeah.
Yeah.
100%, so...
Rainbow Curse kind of needed for it.
Yeah, for better or worse, because you end up playing it more on the gamepad than anything else, so... You didn't really need... It's weird because you didn't need the TV at all for Rainbow Curse. Yeah. Anyways, if we had to rate this, I don't know, 1 to 10, what would we give it? Don, let's start off with you. The whole direct.
Ooh, 8.5.
8.5. All right.
Yeah.
Triss.
I think I'm right there too, like an 8.5. Yeah, because it was like overall, like pretty good, but there wasn't like, other than like the Smash announcements being really good, there wasn't anything there that made me go like mind blown, like up to 9, even 10 kind of thing.
You weren't mind blown by the Breath of the Wild teaser?
That was pretty big.
It was big, but it was still one of those, like, they tell you it's gameplay, but it's one of those, it still felt a bit too cinematic to really get an idea for what kind of game it was going to be.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, I was excited, but I still didn't really know what kind of a Zelda I was going to get out of it, so...
That's a good point, although I will say, looking back, like, that trailer, aside from a few moments we noted, like, it's pretty faithful to the final experience, right? Like, so it was really interesting that, yeah, at the time, it didn't really give us a great idea what to expect, but in hindsight, it kind of did, I feel like, you know?
Yeah. But back then, we couldn't really...
We couldn't know, exactly.
It was hard to envision that, yeah, exactly.
Like, at that point, we solely had that 10-minute speech by Onuma in January 2013, and then this.
Right.
Yep.
Tom, what do you score it?
Okay, I'm thinking, like, are we talking about the games or the presentation as a whole?
Both, everything.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. For this, I see you at chat saying 9.
Yeah, chat's all about those 9.5s.
Yeah, I think at the time though, for seeing this and stuff, like I have to go 8.5 as well, because I wouldn't, like, I don't know the like full extent of Splatoon. Breath of the Wild's a way off. And also, like, Captain Toad, to me, that's like a smaller game.
Right.
Rainbow Curse, I just played Canvas Curse, so stuff like that I think would like weigh down on me slightly, even though I'm loving the Robot Chicken and the presentation.
But how about now? Is your score the same, even looking back now?
No, now it's like 9.5 territory to some of the presentations we watch these days. So.
Actually, yeah, coming hot off Summer Games Fest, I didn't even watch it all.
That's
so, yeah, actually, that's a great point, Tom. You might just boosted me. I think I'd give this a solid. I'd give it a 9, maybe 9.5. I think 9 though is really good. I mean, a lot of announcements here ended up being huge, at least for me, especially. You know, with Zelda Breath of the Wild, or Wii U as it was then, Splatoon, Mario Maker. You know, even the smaller titles like Captain Toad ended up being fun. Smash Brothers, of course, can never understand how big that was. You know, I mean, because Smash Ultimate really is. I feel like the jump from Wii U to Ultimate is perhaps the smallest gap we've seen in Smash ever, and not to undersell what Smash Ultimate did, but like its bones are built on Smash Wii U, and so a lot of what that game accomplished, you know, a lot of what Smash Ultimate is reflected here in Wii U, and that was a huge game too. Plus the 3DS version as well, having Smash on the go, and I remember playing that so many times at E3 and how fun Smash Wii U was. Tom, I think you remember playing it with me a ton, right? Like,
yeah, tons, like endless times going back there to play it.
Yeah, but they had so many so many kiosks set up, 4 players at a time. Like, there was no wait. Like, you could hop on Smash to play it almost instantly. Like, it was great.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, you played
Why would you play anything else?
Yeah, well, Splatoon, I think, was more on a higher stage for in the back corner. That
no, Splatoon was only behind closed doors, and you needed to be in line because you couldn't record it outside of the treehouse people.
Yeah, so it was tougher to play. Even though I loved my time there, it was way easier to play Smash.
Right, yeah, good call. So anything else to note? Actually, also, I want to give a shout out to the Robot Chicken sketches. Like, that's another reason why I really enjoyed this presentation. Like, it had fun, it wasn't taking itself too seriously, even had some of those heartfelt / manipulative moments, like with Reggie talking about Nintendo memories and all that, you know? Like, it felt like there was a passion here, you know? And I think now, for better or worse, Nintendo's like, now that they're successful again, they're leaning into more of like a safe corporate style of presenting, which, you know, it's fine in some respects, and others it's a little bit more boring, you know? And that's for it's for a number of reasons, I'm sure, but it does make me miss, you know, the era in which they presented or more the style in which they presented these directs back then. So,
one thing from my memory is that I was almost a little bit disappointed it was Robot Chicken and not Mega 64 again at the time. But then they blew it out of the water.
Well, they had. I think they had this. If I correct me if I'm wrong, they had like a trilogy in basically they went from Mega 64 to Robot Chicken, then to Puppets the following year, right? Like, is that back to back to back?
Mega 64 was the skit before the month before E3.
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. It wasn't part of E3. That was it.
Okay. Yeah, they did.
Up E3.
They did one, and they there was a kid, and the kid's name let us know that it was still Mega 64 putting it together. So
that was it. Okay, forgot about that. So yeah, a lot of fun in that era. Any other thoughts or comments looking back on this now?
It's crazy how much franchises came out of this singular presentation.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's so interesting seeing the love and care that Nintendo put into like making these announcements, and it makes you wonder, because obviously part of it really is just because of how much they had comparatively. It's a different way of presenting it all. I still want to see like some good like fusion of the two, like something closer to this while also still having the quantity that they do nowadays, with still good quality.
That's fair.
Flapjack says, I miss personality and fun of these presentations. The current directs are almost all business. So I think it doesn't help that Bowser, president, not the
Doug
character.
Bowser. Yeah,
he's not as front facing, and so we have to rely more on Nintendo of Japan, and maybe it's just like they don't want to take risks and focus more. Maybe they found something out where it just matters about the games.
That's sort of my criticism of like current Nintendo, is that everything that had some ounce of personality is more so in favor of, hey, this is more of a structured presentation now.
Right. Yeah. I'm playing right now on the stream, like Reggie roasting the Mother 3 guy. Like, that's hilarious. You would not see that these days. They wouldn't do it right now. And that's it's a little sad because it's hilarious and fun and entertaining to look back on, you know. So.
It's somehow still relevant 10 years later.
It's more relevant now than it was then, which is amazing. So, sad. All right, Real Sean says the guys now are too safe, not as charismatic as the days of Reggie and Iwata, and that's part of it too. Like those are just two big personalities that are hard, if not impossible, to replace. But that's not to say they couldn't try new things too, to lean in a new direction that's still entertaining. Because I think right now one of my main complaints is it just feels like you're watching like a trailer sizzle reel. Like it feels like you're at a movie 20 minutes early, just watching all the trailers, and that's not the most fun way of presenting things, nor the most insightful always.
For Europe, we had additional layer of the goodness that was known as Satoru Shibata.
Who was that?
The European president of Nintendo.
You had a whole different presentation.
Yeah, in our directs were one of Reggie. They were with Satoru Shibata and with Iwata.
Oh, why? I forgot about that, man.
They made so many jokes about the both Satorus.
Oh, really? Good stuff. That's great. Yeah, not these days.
Nope. You don't have fun as much as anymore.
Sad. They're all about having fun. Hey, Valentine in the super chat. Thank you, Valentine says, how long until Metroid Prime 4 is a new Mother 3? Oh my god.
Well, here's the difference. Prime 4 is happening at some point.
Allegedly, Tris. Allegedly. I think it's been almost as long now. When did Mother 3 come out? Like that was 2003?
2006.
2006.
Yeah.
So we're quickly approaching, Tris, that gap of time from Mother 3 to this direct, as from Metroid Prime 4's announcement to where we are now, which is I think 7 years at this point.
Yeah.
My God. Yeah. My God.
Hey, we got that new LinkedIn art. Come on.
Yeah. All right. Any other thoughts before we wrap it up?
I think I'm all set. It's just it's a shame they went kind of down from here, because I remember 2015 wasn't that good in terms of content. But
yeah, well, about 1 year from today, we'll be looking back on that, so that'll be interesting.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
All right.
I want to just say I just hope they keep bringing out developers and their presentations and stuff, and like that the yarn scene, like bring a bit of that flavor back.
Yeah, I was gonna comment on that too. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up, Tom. Like, I did like how it slowed down at points, and again, maybe I'm being totally hypocritical here. Maybe I felt differently 10 years ago, but I do feel like in some instances it is worthwhile, and I think they used it well here. It maybe aside from Smash, maybe a little long, but other than that, breaking down, Zelda, talking about Splatoon, like really diving in on how this game came to be and how it plays. I think there's some good stuff in there, and I appreciated that, and I'd like to see more of that, when it's warranted. So
yeah, from Nintendo's developers specifically, because we do get that with like indie worlds, which I do like. I love seeing that from indie devs, but we don't really get that much from Nintendo's core developers anymore.
Yep, exactly.
It's sometimes like just ass in a text article. So.
Yep, good point.
Yep.
Well, there we go, chat. 10 years to the day of celebrating and looking back on Nintendo's Direct from E3 2014. Let us know in the comments once this, is available as a VOD what you thought of it. I know the chat's been talking about it, of course, throughout. We'd love to hear more of your thoughts, though, in the comments below. Is it as good as you remembered? Is it better even now these days? Let us know in the comments, and we hope you enjoyed our look back on Nintendo from 10 years ago, which I still can't believe. How was it 10 freaking years ago? That scares me. Like, how has that amount of time flown by like that? I don't get it. How's Splatoon 10 years old? I don't like it.
Just think of all the Splatoon.
Yeah, I know, right?
I know. Like we're probably not that far away from Splatoon 4. We're gonna have 4 Splatoons in a 10-year gap, 10-year period, and that's a lot. So, anyways, chat, thanks for hanging out with us. We're gonna wrap up there and have a good rest of your day. Bye, everyone. And hopefully we'll have a Nintendo Direct soon to talk about and watch.
A new one.
A new one, exactly. All right, bye, everyone.